Alright, hello everybody. This is Wolf. I'm going to be doing a Xiba tutorial for you guys in Soulcalibur 5. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a pretty well-known Xiba player in the tournament scene. And people say I'm pretty good with him, and I think I'm okay. So I figured I'd show you what I know with this character and how to play him, basically. I'm going to be using the Soulcalibur 5 notation for this video, so if you don't know it, I'll put a link in the description somewhere, and you can just watch that before you watch this video, because I'm going to say like a bunch of numbers and letters that you probably won't even understand if you don't know the notation. So keep that in mind before you watch this video. So why you should use Xiba in this game, if you the playstyle he has is kind of defensive in my opinion. As you can see, he has a pretty good range on him, and a lot of good moves. So for one reason, that's he has good keep out because of that, and good movement to pair with it. It's kind of good ideal ranges around here, I'd say, where you can sort of poke him with K-Slide B and 3B them all day. And just harass him overall with your range. He's also got pretty good evasion tools to stop offenses. One of the highlights of this character is that he has really good tech jumps. So you'll see that he has his fastest tech jump at 15 frames. Not taunt, sorry. He's got 1K. That's a very fast mid-tech jumping poke if you just want to combat people up close and try to get out. He also has good moves like Jump A and 4-4K and Jump B. I'll go over all these moves later, but that's just an idea of how good these jump jumps are. And another thing that's good about Xiba is his damage output. Not only is it good at this is his highest damage natural combo outside of walls. So that by itself is 109 damage, and that's pretty good. He also, and then when you get by the wall, it just like increases exponentially. Except when it whiffs right there. That's another thing you gotta keep in mind with this when you play this character, is that there's gonna be a lot of hitbox bugs in this game when it comes to Xiba. So maybe I'll make another video for that, going over the essential bugs you should be aware of, otherwise you'll get yourself killed. But anyways, that's just an example of how much damage you can do by the wall with one Brave Edge. So his damage output is pretty good, and his manipulation of the stages are pretty good. And even infinite stages are okay because of his keep out tools. So that's kind of the character archetype, and I guess first things first, I'll go through the punishes. So we have at 13 frames his standing K. It's not the most damage in the world, but it's guaranteed damage for minus 13 moves. And at 14 frames we have his generic QA, which will give you +8, so you'll have frames to work with if you want to mount an offensive game. And then he also has 3A, which is slightly more damage. But the thing about this move is that it has an extension, 3AB. It's not a natural combo, however, it does jail on hit, so that they won't be able to duck the high if they take the first hit. And the nature of that will also give you guard damage if they choose to block it. So not only are you taking away parts of their health bar, but you're also setting up a guard burst later out in the round. And just like take advantage of the system through that. So that's why a reason to use that over 2A. And then at 16 frames from standing, you have easy peasy 6B. Sorry, this is 6B for 16 damage. And that also has an extension. That has an extension, a Brave Edge extension. And the last two, like if you hit with the second hit, the third hit is a natural combo, as you can see. but that is not the ideal I-16 punish. You're going to want to do this move. The thing that's tricky about this is that the input is 3K slide B, and slide inputs are really weird to buffer in this game. So you won't be able to do that initially, but if you can get the timing down on the different block stuns in this game, you're going to be optimizing your damage and killing him way faster, and just make your life easier overall. And then we at 17 frames, which you generally don't want to do because of 3K slide B, but this is easy peasy, so he has 6A for 31 damage, and that also has the same extension that 6B has. So that's just an easy I-17 punish. And then at 19 frames, he has his 3B that has a KK follow-up for 64 damage. That's going to be your standard launcher, what you're going to want to whip punish with usually. So this is the best, really, in most scenarios. He also has this move, but you're not really going to get a lot of block punishes with this. I think it's, I'll find out what the frames are. I have it on my computer right now. It's A plus B, it's impacts in 28 frames. You're not going to be getting a lot of block punishes with it. You may get some just guard punishes, but this move is slow. So you're really going to want to do it on like big mistakes. So that is the optimal combo in terms of punishment damage. And then from crouching, we have for I-13 this time, because 2A's get 1 frame faster in crouch. We have 2A again. Then the next step after that is Rising K, which comes out in 16 frames. And it does 39 damage, and it also has a just frame Brave Edge for 65. There is a just frameless Brave Edge, but it's kind of garbage because, you know, you're not getting the most out of what you can get. Because the last hit will get scaled by Guts on top of doing, let's see, sorry, messed it up. Really gonna mess this up. Alright, 65. It does 65, and the last hit won't get scaled by Guts, which is when they're in the yellow. And you do a move that's 20 damage or less, it'll get reduced by half. And so you're gonna want to do the just frame every time to avoid that. Then we also have at this isn't a punish for many things, but like for Maxi 2A plus B as an example, it works. We have, let's see, how fast is this actually? 24 frames. We have full crouch A plus B and the 2A plus B as a natural combo, and that's as much as the Brave Edge if you aren't getting the just frame. So consider that when you're punishing things. You're gonna not spend meter, but for similar damage, and it has a clean hit on there for the how much damage the just frame does. So that's pretty good, and that's how punishment goes for this character. So I'm gonna go over the main moves, the really good moves, or I'm gonna go over pokes first, because to set up the flashy shit, you're gonna make them want to respect you first of all, and he has very good counter fishers to make them want to chill out. So first of all, as a poke, his fastest mid poke is 3A. It doesn't have a lot of range, but it has pretty good tracking on it. And then it has an extension that's a counter combo. It's just the thing is, if you get you can't counter confirm this. So if you get too wild, they can duck the high and really mess you up for it. So pick your places for that extension. It does wall splat and ring out from quite a distance. Let's see if I can set that up at max range. Oh, not quite. Let's see. Oh, alright. But like a little bit more than that, and you'll get a ring out with that character. So usually it's best to just do this. He also has a remembrance transition if you hold the B. And that'll stop like immediate AA mashes and 2A mashes after you're getting your 3A blocked. So keep that in mind when messing around with this poke. Another good poke he has is 1K, that's mid. It'll jump over your 2As, your 2Ks, and throws, so it's gonna pretty much beat out any mix that they try to do, and any 2As they try to mash. So that's really, really good. It makes them want to do mid pokes only if you whore this out, or they'll want to space it out because it is linear and not like long range. And then he also has 6B, and it does counter a combo into 6BK. You can counter confirm this if you're quick enough. You get that version of the stun where you can combo into 2A plus B. But if you kind of delay it, you get a little float, and that's the combo you want to do there, is a 6B after that for guaranteed damage. There are some tech traps, but I'm not going to go over that in this guide. But yeah, and at the Brave Edges for this, 73 damage for an attack counter, so that's really good damage. And just for reference, the total health a character has is 240, so you're looking at about a third of a life, almost a third of a life bar. And then the delay, oops. And then the delay. Oh, oops. Forgive me, I'm on a laggy monitor right now. You can't really get a... I gotta get my brain to think first before I do this combo. Because I don't really get this scenario very often. Because I'm usually pretty good at hit confirming it. You're gonna want to do case by B. That's what's guaranteed. I keep forgetting. Just because I'm usually quick enough to do this. And obviously there's some consistency issues with follow-ups for this delayed kick. The reasoning is beyond me, but you catch my drift. So that's what makes these pokes like the main mid pokes you want to do, and then you want to pair it also with 2Ks and 2As for the faster pokes anyway. So he also has a longer range case slide B that will stop jumping and mix you up at the same time. So that's really good. And it's completely safe. Oh yeah, and I also should mention that this is an interruptible string if you are hit confirming it, and that's why you want to hit confirm it. Because you'll get into some dirty mix-ups so they know what to do. But anyways, yeah, case slide B is a very good poke. And you can sort of pressure people also with 3B as a knockdown. The first hit is -12, but the extensions do so much damage if you test Xiba with the Remembrance B and the kicks. Let's see. The kicks do 62 damage if they get an attack counter, and the Remembrance B does about this much damage. So you really can make them hurt for that. And that pretty much goes over pokes, I think. And then other main moves, I'd say, for the defensive options, he has Remembrance, which is an AGI that will stop every single step killer, for the most part, in the game. There are some fat hitbox verticals that won't AGI, like Maxi 6A plus B is an example, or Rising B plus K for Maxi. So you gotta be careful of that. But generic, like every single horizontal a character has will get AGI'd. And certain step kill kicks. So I'll show you an example of a step kill kick, Mitsu's 2KB. That gets AGI'd. And this is totally guaranteed afterwards. Very good AGI. Really opens up the movement in this game. Movement is very unsafe. It's -20 every step you take, excluding forward steps. So it's very useful to free up Xiba's movement. And the Remembrance B will give you the sidewall slats and ring outs to his right because of 6B Brave Edge. And another evasive tool he has that does a lot of damage that you'll get opened up from the pokes is 4-4K Brave Edge. You don't want to do this if you are reading a 2A any low and a throw. And when you get this correctly, usually this will connect. There are certain scenarios, like if you get like a janky side hit, where this will drop, and I'll see if I can get that shown. Okay, they don't even want me to show it right now. There you go. But there are janky side hits where it won't stun them. And another combo that you would want to do is if you're close enough, you can do 3AB. And now the reason why you would do that over 6BK is for the forward wall splats and ring outs. So that's very good combo as well. As for Rushdown, he has pretty good moves, like 3-3 KB. Both hits are safe. You just want to be careful. If you let this whole thing rip, they can just guard or sidestep it to one direction for the most part. There are some characters that can't step it at all, but a lot of people don't use that option. They generally just guard it. So be careful when using the string. It's very good. 2K is guaranteed afterwards for 60 damage on attack counter. Let me take that off actually. There you go. So yeah. He also has, oh yeah, and this move, by the way, it tech crouches and tech jumps, so that's another reason why you should be using this move. The only reason why you shouldn't use this move is that it's going to be slow to set up. The tracking is pretty good on it as well. He also has 3A plus B as one of his slower lows, and 1A plus B as well. After 3A plus B, 6B is guaranteed, but if they try to tech, they can get hit by this. So be wary of that if they're mashing into Kemi. I'll show an example of that right now. Or the kind of damage you're looking at. Like, that's a shitload of damage right there. So if you see them teching, go for that. But they should never tech in reality. And you also have 1A plus B, where you do not get any hit follow-ups if they do tech, funny enough. But if they don't tech, this is guaranteed. Just don't bank on it because a lot of people are going to be smart enough to tech, and if they tech, you're going to get hurt by a launcher. Another get-in tool Xiba has is 6XA. Not only does it tech jump to avoid like mashing 2As or something, like long-range lows or whatever, but it also covers a lot of range and you can't step it. So, and it's completely safe. So you're basically, it's almost like doing a slide kick, the same application, but you just can't step this and it's mid and safe. So it's really good. And that's basically the get-in tools. He also has 4-4A for the reverse mix-up. I usually use it if I think they're gonna step on wake up, in which you get this counter combo, which is very dirty damage. You get, oops, you get 4-4A into rising B for 70 damage, and that's big. And both of these hits are safe, the mid and the low. And because of the way jumping was nerfed in this game, you can only jump it with your 8A, 8B, and 8K. For most characters anyway. Some characters have very slow startup, like Natsu is an example. The only example I can think of at the moment who has a slower 8K startup for the jumping. So it won't get over the low if you mash this immediately. The only way you can really discourage it at that point, the low, is by the jumping or by just guarding the low. So you're basically telling them to chill out or do some evasive stuff, which you can bait out either with the guard damage or mix-ups if they try to block the low, or wait for the low rather, or if they're jumping like a moron, you could space it out and get a launcher, or you could if it's like a horizontal jumping move, you could get Remembrance B and hurt them. And Remembrance B, it does have like a weird bound if they do a jumping attack. So I'll show that with Mitsu. Oops. Oh. But yeah, you get that funky combo. And it's kind of goofy. But it works. It's effective. And you can, a lot of times a quicker mid poke will beat out a jumping move because they're not very fast. So 448 gets a very good block scenario, and the counter damage is very good. So use that move. I think that's the main move. And I'll just go over the rest of the move list, because I went over the pokes that you want to use for the most part. And moves I think are really good for offense and defense. Oh yeah, I guess defense he also has random CE. This is very YOLO. Just because if they block it, you get launched. And it's not like it's a mix at mid, because if they see this slow as animation, they can just block it easily. So use that sparingly. As you can see, it only did 65 damage, so you may be thinking, that's not a lot. But if you get an auto GI, it's going to do about 110, if I recall correctly. So the critical edge is very good as a defensive option, but very risky at the same time. And also gives very good wake up. So use that with a purpose. It auto GIs mids, and it also tech crouches, so it'll beat out every mid and high, and sometimes throws, but it does not beat out lows. And it guard bursts too, so that can be kind of cheap if they turtle. So I guess I'll just go over the rest of the move list now, and tell you the applications. So I guess we'll start with the meter moves. So you got critical edge, which I covered. 6-8K Brave Edge. It's an I-17 step kill. The first hit is the first hit is -12. So some characters get a guaranteed AA. So you want to check the matchup before you go into that. Another problem with this move is that 6-8K can miss on certain characters. Generally, like characters that are size 4 when you go into creation mode, and Alpha Patroclus. I think he's size 3 Alpha Patroclus, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyways, the point is that the kick sometimes misses. And let's see if I can show that right there. So the ranges where this is consistent is at tip. For the follow-up kick. If you aren't sure, just do 6A and don't do any follow-ups, because that's low risk in itself, because you aren't going to get interrupted, and when you get interrupted, it'll be back turned because of the way the tech step works in the animation, and that's very dangerous. So be careful when you do this follow-up. You're going to want to be sure it works. Is what I'm saying. When you go for this, but when you do go for this, you get 80 damage. And that's a third life. And also wall splats, but the oh, that was weird. The damage changed. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but you'll wanna. It does wall splat, but the wall splat is kind of janky, so be careful when you do that. Let's see, we got 6 BK Brave Edge. This is totally hit confirmable. The first hit is -10 of this move, so most characters except Natsu can't punish the first hit. But the Natsu punishers, he can tech step with the kick, so it's a reverse mix-up in that matchup. So in majority of matchups, this is cheap. Astaroth and Voldo actually cannot interrupt the channeling kick on 6AK and 6BK. Actually, I'm not sure if Voldo can interrupt. I think Voldo might be able to interrupt 6AK. I'm not entirely sure, actually. But he definitely cannot interrupt 6BK. So that just gives a silly reverse mix-up if you want to go wild. And when you do guess correctly, you are looking at possibly 73 damage if you are very smart with your counter hits and confirms. And it also wall splats to the right, as I said earlier, and rings out to the right. Let's see. Wall Rise and K Brave Edge, we went over that. The Just Ring is what you always want. A plus BB Brave Edge. If you go crazy with this, although it does tech step, a lot of characters just get a launcher anyways because they track. Mitsu's one of those characters where it doesn't, but it's still very risky. He has dirty stuff, like 2K Brave Edge or a Critical Edge that will interrupt and punish this move. So you can normal hit confirm it. It's a natural combo. It's not a counter hit combo. So that's really good when it comes to that move. But you can sort of counter confirm this if you off of the first hit, but it's very difficult. You're gonna want to practice it The trick I use is I look at the life bar and just wait to see the red health being taken away. So that's how I hit confirm this move. But it's still very difficult. And if you aren't hit confirming, the first hit's minus 14. So some characters can punish it if they are ballsy and don't care about the follow up. Let's see, we got 338 Brave Edge, awesome, and that's you can confirm this move off of the second hit into the Brave Edge. So don't ever go wild with this move unless you think they're gonna mash after blocking the second hit. And this move does, let's see, how much damage did it do? 65 damage, so that's a little over a fourth of your health bar. And it also has really good ring out range. And this move is a natural combo if they are on the ground. So if they're just chilling, let's see if I can, I think I have this as, yeah, there you go. That's guaranteed for 55 damage if they are on the ground. But the first two hits are natural if they're standing, and the Brave Edge just counter combo. But be careful, you don't really want to mash after this on hit, because it's minus 10, so on hit. So you really want to be careful, and just kind of chill out. The only time that'll like beat out someone mashing is obviously the Brave Edge, which isn't safe. But all these hits aren't safe on block if they get directly, and some characters can even punish it straight up with a tech jumping move if it's fast enough after the first hit. So this is a move you gotta be careful with. So like a lot of these strings, it's very easy to kill yourself if you aren't careful, and that's why another reason why he favors defense over offense, in my opinion. Alright, we got 4-4K Brave Edge. Both 4-4K and 4-4K Brave Edge are safe on block. It's just the thing is, if they're really good at Just Guard, they can Just Guard the second hit of the Brave Edge and launch you. It is difficult to do because the first hit does force crouch and gives you less standing frames to Just Guard it. So they're gonna have to practice and be good at the game in order to Just Guard this. So, and the push out on block is pretty good. I don't know if I have him set the blocking, do I? In any of these? Just to show the pushback. And 4-4K by itself is like -3 and the Brave Edge is -5. Where do I go for this? Second player settings? All standing guard? Or I'll just put all guard. But yeah, that's how far they are away from you. Very good move. Let's see. AAK. Now this is another move where you can easily kill yourself if you aren't careful. Single A by itself is a very good poke. It's frame advantage on hit. It's totally safe. You just want to be careful of tech crouchers, since it is high. But it covers a lot of distance. You don't really advance towards the opponent, so you can start of like. This is a very good horizontal for zoning as opposed to 6A, which is a very good horizontal to getting in if you see Xiba, like the way how much he advances as well as 6A. So like standing A is the more zony horizontal, I think. And it also, if you get the whole string on counter hit combo, the whole string's a counter hit combo. The first two hits are a natural combo, but it's disadvantage if you don't do the kick. I think it's actually unsafe to some characters if you don't do the kick and you do the first two A's on block. Let's see. Yeah, it's -11, so a few characters can AA punish it. But that's not a big deal. The big deal is that you can duck the second hit and have time to really fuck up Xiba for doing that. And the only way to counter confirm this whole thing is to do the first two hits. So you gotta be careful when doing this. But the reward, like, all of these is really high damage. So this character is kind of like, I would call him like a high risk, high reward character. Unless you play him very lame, where he's like low, like he's kind of like a low risk, medium reward character if you play him a bit more lame, with like K-Slide D. and other stuff. So AAK is very good in terms of damage and wall splats and ring outs, but you can really fuck yourself up if you do this the rest of the string. Same thing for 6AK, you can interrupt that. 3AB, we talked about this earlier, it's the mid poke, but you can duck the high. It does have a remembrance transition, but when they duck and do an attack, it's going to tend to beat them out anyways. Let's see, 2A, just generic. 1A is actually very good in certain matchups because of the pushback on block. Does Mitsurugi block this? Yeah, he does. Well, like, when you block this move, they're actually pretty far away, and it's only -17 on block, so some characters can't even launch it. There are only some characters, like the Greeks for example, that fuck up this move, but they can't even touch it at tip, at the very tip range, because you're that far away. So if you place it very well, it can be rewarding, but it's still -17 and not good in some matchups. But like against a character like Viola, she can't punish it at all. So keep that in mind when using 1A. Very long range. And also has a very good tech crouch and a guard burst people. So you can be kind of cheesy with that as well. See, 4A, this is -13 on block and it's high. And it's only 30 damage, so you're probably thinking, oh, well, I guess the tech step is okay. The tech step is okay, and it also tech crouches. So, but the reward, you're probably thinking, why would I want to use this move? It's not like I'm doing the best with it, and I might as well just like side step into a tech crouch, right? For a better reward. No, check out this cheesy shit. If I can set it up at like the maximum cheese. Oh, so close. But basically, this move rings out pretty well to his right side. So if you're evasive, you can get under highs and some around some verticals for the stupid ring outs, and they're pretty far post hit, as you can see. So this move can be kind of sneaky, I guess is the best word to describe it. So it's a very good move, I think, but it's situational. While crouching A, same as 2A. While rising A is a very good move. Similar to standing A, it doesn't advance you towards your opponent. It's kind of one of those moves where it's like a more zoney horizontal, but it has a lot of range. And it's mid. The only thing is that it's, instant while rising takes 5 frames, so you're looking at 5 plus, let's see, how fast is rising A? 20 frames, so you're throwing out randomly. It's going to be 25 frames from standing if you're perfect. The tech crouch window is very good, and this move is just very good. I recommend it for sure. See, jumping A is also a very cheap move. Attracting to Xiba's left side is kind of weird, because sometimes it can get stepped even though it's horizontal. But this is still a safe horizontal mid that jumps. So just think about that. You're getting over the mids, lows. Or sorry, you're getting you're getting over lows, special mids. Or sorry, special lows. I'm sorry, they're basically the same thing. Lows and special lows and throws with this jumping A. And you're also killing step, and you're also it's also mid that you can mix people up with. So and it also has like a weird tech step. You can see I'm getting closer to the tree. And it does sometimes evade verticals for no reason. So this move is very cheap. Look at that range. This move's good. No problems with this move except for the tracking to the left side. Really is the only flaw with this move. That's it. See, turn around A, we're not even going to bother with that. It looks like this. Whoopsie-doo. That's situational. BB. Okay, so single B, much like A and rising A, it doesn't advance you. And it also has a counter combo for BB. And I don't think you can counter confirm this. You can't. But it's okay. On a sidestep, you're probably gonna get launched by your opponent, so you gotta be careful with this move. I think this is more like a zony version of 3B, and 3B is just a bit more solid, I think, just because of the rewards off of this and the tracking to the Xiba's right side, and the follow-ups are much better than BB. He also has B remembrance B, but sidestep tech crouches kind of blow it up. That like sidestep into a tech crouching vertical is what blows it up. Because it gets under the high and it evades the B and it also evades the kick. So it's very gimmicky. Strange. Don't use this pretty much ever. Otherwise you'll kill yourself. 2B is like much like B, but it puts you in full crouch. And also single B guard bursts, while 2B does not. So you might want to use 2B over single B if there's red, if their guard's red and you want to keep that red gauge for the next round. And you might want to use B if you want that guard burst. And both of these options hit on the ground, so they're okay. 6BK, we went over that. 3B hold. I guess I'll go over this a little bit more. Remembrance A off of this, tech crouches under highs. If you let this rock here for a bit, it'll auto GI horizontals. It's just the thing is, if you're mashing attack, the auto GI properties are instantly gone. So be careful of that. 3B and Remembrance B trades with I-19 moves, so if you do anything I-19 or slower, you're gonna get hit by Remembrance B. So that in itself is pretty good. And the kick is high, but it frame traps most things that aren't tech crouches. It's also minus 12 on block, so a few characters can punish it. Not all of them, but like about I'd say less than half of the characters. So that's pretty good. What else is on this move list? See, we got 1B. This move is kind of silly. You're not really gonna get punished on block in most situations because how far he is from the character. It's minus 14, but like look at how far they are. What I-14 move's gonna catch that? It kind of like the back tech step is not very good, I'd say. So if you're using it as like the same way you would use Mitsu's 4B, don't, I'd say. That's my recommendation. This move is not especially good, I'd say. I keep away from it. 4B. Now this move is very good. Not only does it tech crouch and do a lot of damage, almost fourth life, but I think it cleaned it too for fourth life. Yeah, look at that shit. But it's minus 13. But that doesn't really matter in the majority of matchups, like, because characters can't really punish it because of the pushback on block, as I'll show you in a second. There you go. Look how far they are away. You're already back in laming people out city. So take this. You basically gave them a paid vacation to get the fuck away. So very good on block, but it's very risky if they sidestep this move. It does have a good hurt box. It does randomly catch people stepping if they're very up close. Take this. But this is pretty good. I'd say I'd use this move for sure. Crouching B is the same thing as single B and 2B. While crouching 1B, this is entirely safe on block, and you can kind of lame people out with this. It's slow, so it is reactable. You can react to this. Same thing with 1B actually, you can react to that as well. And you can react to 1A. But it has a really good range, I'd say. You can sneak up on some people if they aren't looking for it. And it has a very good tech crouch. I think it actually super tech crouches on some frames. Don't quote me on that, but it's pretty good, but it's linear. That's the only problem. And it's reactable. So be careful. What's next? Wall Rising B. This move is very cheap, and I'll tell you why. Not only does this break in 9 blocks, and also 4-4K breaks in 9 blocks, and that's a very good guard bursting tool. And this also hits grounded. I didn't even mention that. And this hits grounded, breaks in 9 as well. So it's like 4-4K, but it counter combos and the 3K slide B if I don't mess it up. 68 damage. So look at that. And it also has very good tracking to his left side. So I'd use this. And it's also a normal hit knockdown. You don't get anything guaranteed on it, but it's 32 damage. Get a good knockdown for some good Okazemi. Let's see. While crouching, turning. What? Okay, don't even worry. Oh, jumpy. This move is you'd only would use this over jump A because this does more damage really. In the block situation is better, but it's very risky because it can be stepped both ways. And it's kind of slow, so you can react to it. But it's neutral and block. You get that as a combo for free. So the reward is there. It's just the speed and the linear nature of the move is what the problems are. See, kick, don't even want to talk about that. K slide B, we talked about that. Will be jumping and mix up your opponent. 6K, this is a safe tech jumping knockdown. That'll catch backstep. You kind of get, you can sort of use this as an aggressive tool. The reward isn't very high, but you can definitely annoy your opponent and get over like people who mash 2As in 1Ks. So, very good move, I'd say, but it can be stepped. That's really the only flaw. 3K, this move sucks complete ass because it's disadvantaged on hit and it's unsafe and you're only getting 15 damage. Don't use this move, please. 3K slide B, throwing it out randomly is very good for guard bursting your opponent because it tracks heavily to his left side. And it's very good damage on normal hit. But on block, a lot of characters can fuck him up for it. Some characters can launch him, some characters can't because of the way the axis changes. So like Mitsu, for example, he cannot 3V it, but he can face poke it. So it's really matchup specific how good this is to throw out randomly. 2K is good like every other 2K. Definitely use that move. His has like a pretty good range. And the tracking is okay. It's not like Maxi's 1K, but it's still very good move. You want to use this move to annoy your opponent. Just spam it every now and then. 1K, the check jumping mid poke, that's very good. 4KB, this move isn't very good, but it does jail, so they can't jump the low, they block the high. It's just, there's not really many places that you would want to use this over other stuff, you know, because it's just like a slow high into a low. So, don't really use that move. While raising K. There is a version of this move where you do that, and you would only want to do this if your back is to the edge, because you can reverse yourself, ring out yourself, which I'll show. Oh, oops, reset. Ring edge backwards. Oh, okay, hold on. I guess I gotta put Mitsu closer to the edge. But like, say they do like a 1A, you can like not be paying attention and ring out yourself. So you want to do that, the single rising K, as a replacement for while standing punishment by when your back's at the edge. That's the only reason you would want to place this over that, because the damage is way better on rising K, and it's also good to note how far you are away at post hit. The actual move is -13 on block, so it isn't the best to throw out randomly. Jump K, this is unsafe, but the block stun is so low that people definitely usually don't punish it. Like, it's fast and the low block stun. It's a high, but like the damage is there for sure, and it clean hits, and it just looks insulting overall. So if you want your opponent to be disgusted by getting hit by that, that's a good move to do. Let's see. A+B is that very good launcher. Without the Brave Edge, there's really no reason to do this over 3BKK. As you can see, the damage difference is real, and 3BKK can also clean it for even more, but it's not showing that at the moment. 3A+B and 1A+B are the attack throws. I don't think I mentioned this, but this version is an A break, and this version is a B break. So they can tech out of these, and you get very little frame advantage. So I usually, when they break it, I usually take a back step, because a lot of mashing tends to beat me out. And the frame advantage is also variable because the different throw break windows, like normal throw, it counts as like a normal throw where like if they break it very quickly, you get a certain amount of frames and damage, or if you break it slower, you get a certain amount of frames and damage. So it's variable. I don't like pressing buttons after it, but you may. So I'd be careful when doing that, or I am careful when I do that. But you can probably rush in against most people. Like doing 6B to stop mashing usually works, unless you get that variable frame where it isn't that heavy. So this is a good low. It's -16, so be careful. And it also has very good tracking. At tip range, it's disadvantage if you get this, but it also counter its stuns. Let's see if I can get that on this. And K-Slide B is guaranteed, and 2A plus B is sometimes guaranteed, depending on the range. There are some ranges where you're like far away enough to where, to where you can sword attack out of this. It's not showing that right now, but it does exist. Just believe me on that one. 2A plus B. This is only good in combos, and the reason behind this is that not only is it not a natural combo on all the hits, but it's unsafe on block. So, and it's not very fast, and like don't use this randomly. That's all I gotta say about that. It sucks randomly. While crouching A plus B, this also sucks randomly, and the reasoning behind it is that you can backstep it every time and step it to one direction and get launched for it. So there are better ways to set up damage. If you're gonna go crazy, why are you doing this from crouch? Just do like something like Rising K if you're in crouch, or just throw it, or don't do like instant full crouch A plus B, because that's just stupid. Just do BBK, okay? While down A plus B, this move is complete garbage, and I'll tell you why. Not only is it reactable low, but it's so unsafe. Let's see if I can get an exact number on here. It's -30 on block. So even Natsu has time to launch it with a bomb. So that's just an example of how unsafe this stuff is that you're doing. A lot of Xiba players will get fucked up for doing this if the opponent knows anything about anything. And also the attack crouching window isn't very big, so just don't use this move, please. You're gonna get yourself hurt more than it's gonna help you. Like, you would only want to do this if they're whiffing. Like, the only thing I can think of is against Maxi if they stuck in a loop and you got knocked down. That's the only reason I could think to use this. But even then, just don't do it, please. 6B plus K. This string is a safe on block kind of. You're gonna be at ranges where it's -12, and characters won't be able to punish you for the most part. It does have a whiffing issue on Alpha Pad and Patroclus, so be careful of that. And if they just guard it, you aren't getting punished heavily in some matchups, because it's let's see, it's -17 on just guard, so some people can't even launch you for doing this randomly. So yeah, it's good. It also wall splats on counter. Like, this is a counter combo, that's why you would use this. It's 19 frames. That's the application of this, and also it's a backstep killer. Very good damage. But it's very unsafe if they do a sidestep. See, 2B plus K. This is a good low. It's safe, and it's very good damage. But you're probably thinking, well, why don't I just do K-Slide B instead? Because it has a high. You would use 2B plus K because if you notice, they low, it does exactly. Let's see. Well, not on attack. Sorry. If you're mixing them up. Sorry. I'm trying to get this range. Sorry. It does exactly 20 damage if you're mixing them up. This is not counting the attack counter. Whereas opposed to 2B plus K, it does 24. And the reason why that's significant is because when they're at yellow health, like I said, this will be reduced to 10 damage. So you would use 2B plus K as like towards the end of the rounds. And also this kind of like sets them back further on hit. So 2B plus K is good. And you can also hold it to while down yourself. And that's kind of good for like timing people out and getting reduced damage from staying on the ground. So that's useful in that scenario, but I wouldn't do this randomly just to be cute. There are other things to be cute with, like unblockable cancels or something silly. So that's just my opinion. Like this whole guide is my opinion, basically. So just believe me, please. 4B plus K. This is good if your opponent is freezing up very badly, and you would just do this for the guard damage because it breaks in 6. You don't get anything guaranteed if you guard bursted with that move specifically. So don't use it as the guard burster. Use it as what you set up for the guard burst. So yeah. And 4B plus K is just like the same thing, but you feint into an auto GI, and you just might as well do it auto GI because it's just quicker. See, turning around B plus K. This move is bad, and the reason behind this is that not only is it unsafe on block, but you can sidestep it and pretty much get hit by anything in the game, including a Nightmare critical edge. And that's kind of the, by extension, 6KB if you're careless with this. So I wouldn't recommend doing the follow-up. Or sorry, I wouldn't recommend doing back turn B plus K with Xiba. And the same thing with back turn B plus K hold. It's just as bad for with recovery. Let's see, 6-6A, that's the safe tech jumping mid. That covers a lot of range. 3-3AA, that's the low that rings out with the counter Brave Edge. And very good for wake up. 2-2-AB, this is a good move for setting up wall splats in ring outs if you know they're gonna sidestep. Because this is a counter combo. The problem here is that if they block the second hit, which they can do that often if you're careless, with 2-2-AB, and it's only hits some normal hit or something. It's minus 16, so a character like Mitsurugi can face poke you. So if you're careless with this move, you'll get hurt. And same thing with Remembrance, because the Remembrance translation is very slow. So a lot of people can react, or not a lot of people, but there are certain players that react to it and interrupt it in time to get you hurt. So be very careful. 2-2-8 Remembrance B is only good. Like you can only argue that it's good because it does more damage on counter hit than 2-2-8B. But I still would stay away from that. 4-4-AA, we talked about this. I'm not sure I mentioned it, but the first mid breaks guard, so that's very cheap in itself because you have a safe mid horizontal that breaks and it's long range. So the guard burst there is real. 6-6 BBB. This is good in the same way that 6B plus K is good. It's the same speed, but it does more damage, but it's also riskier since it's you can sidestep the second B and just guard the second B, interrupt and punish. So this is a very high risk, high reward move. If you smell the counter hit, it's good. This is also your best meterless combo after a guard burst, since guard burst will give you counter hit properties. So use that there. And 3-3B is just like 6-6B, except it does a little bit more damage, but you're doing it from A-way run, so it adds 10 frames to your move. So it makes it slower, but it's slightly more damage. So yeah. 2-2B is a good launcher. It reverse rings out players. And you can also 3K slide B as a follow-up to extend the ring out range from behind you. But you want to use this move because it tech crouches. And it's a very good sidestep launcher. It's unsafe, it's minus 16, but the reward is very good. As you can see. Sometimes you'll get axis issues where back turn B plus K won't connect. You'll just have to visually see it. And when that scenario happens, you'll just want to do 4B. But the 4B combo, like depending on which side you hit, you'll either get that knockdown where he's very up close, or you'll get one where he's very far away. depending on which side you hit your opponent. 11B. I recommend not using this move because it's reactable and -14. So stay away from this, I'd say. 4-4B. This has a good tech crouch, and it has 3-8B as an extension for walls and wall combos and ring outs. So this is pretty good damage anyways. So this move is good, it's safe on block. I'd use it, but I wouldn't use it all the time due to its how slow it is. And it's, yeah, that's really why you wouldn't use it. It's slow and linear. But the reward, like the block frames are very good, and the whip punish is very good, and it tech crouches slightly. 6-6 KB. I said earlier that you can sidestep this and kill Xiba for whatever you want, but this is very good after a GI, and the reason behind this is not, like, look at the damage output first of all, it's just about as much damage as this. So, actually it's the same exact damage. So it's very good post GI because of that reason. But you're probably thinking, what's the difference between them? The first hit is tech jump, so if they re-GI you and guess correctly, the fall damage you're taking from this, let's take out the counter because you're not going to get counter damage from the GI. You're taking 20 damage, so and that will get Skeleton Guts too for 10 damage. So if they re-GI correctly, it's not like you had to risk getting hurt by a launcher. So it's very good for that reason. It's like the lamest post GI option I can think of. 3-3 KB. Both hits are safe. Tech crouch, tech jump. We went over that. 2-2K. This move is okay. I wouldn't base your game around it. It's unsafe on block, but it has a very long tech crouch, and it has very good range and pretty good tracking. It's just you have to do it from a side step that's why it kind of gets hindered, and the damage output isn't very rewarding. So it's good for the tech crouch and like the tracking low aspect, but it's not something you're gonna want to do all day because of that. 4-4K is very good, I went over that. The unblockable Xiba has, that's the combo off of it. The combo isn't very, like, you're not going to be landing unblockable very often unless it's a very, very bad whiff. And if that happens, this is the best natural combo. 6-6 BB is the best, or this is the best meterless natural combo, I should say. Where A plus B PK is the best meterless natural, or sorry, the best meter natural combo you can get. 6-6 BB is counter combo, so that's why you wouldn't use that for like a whip punish on Nightmare Critical Edge, for example. So if you're looking for like the meterless whip punish for max damage, that's the move you want to do, but it's so slow, so slow. Don't use that randomly. You can also cancel it and look like a jackass, and that's another important aspect of that move. Running kick, like most running kicks, it's reactable. And telegraph because you have to be running for a while to do it. So I wouldn't use this very often. Personally, it's very situational, and most of the time it's going to get blocked. His throws, okay. So his B throw, I believe, is an untuckable knockdown. Let me just double check. Yeah, he didn't even tech there. Whereas his A throw is a technical knockdown. So you have very good wake up for this, but you get less damage, 5 points less damage. And the A throw will also reposition you to the other side of the edge. So like if you want to get back to your edge, that's how you do it. And if you want to get your back to the wall way over here, you can do that. And 3-3 KB is also good for that as well. And 6AK and 6BK, although it is risky because of the posted scenario, it's good for getting away from that, your back to the edge. So be aware of that. Left side throw. This takes forever. Or I think that's the left. Does that count as left side throw? No, that does. Okay. So this does forward. So okay, so the ring out angle for this is when you're at the left side, right? Now it's gonna forward ring out directly in front of Xiba when you're on the character's left side, and I'll show that right now. Oh, not quite, but it should work right here for sure. So it's a ring out throw to the left, I guess Shiba's left if you're like at neutral, but it goes in front of him if you're on the character's left side. So it's very good for ring outs and spacing when you land that throw. The side throw to the right side does a little bit more damage, and you're way closer to your opponent. And then the back throw has crazy ring out range and does 70 damage. So the back throw from Xiba is pretty good, and you're far away post hit. So the back throw is very good. And another thing to note is if you're behind the opponent, this also counts as a back throw, so it's untechable, even against characters that can tech back throws. So if you have a master like Voldo, for example, 1A plus B is the low you always want to do when he's in blindside, because it does 58 damage. The reward is so intense, whereas opposed to 3A plus B, it's only 43, but both of them are guaranteed, so you might as well do 1A plus B for 58 damage as a low. Very cheap in that scenario. B plus K is the Remembrance Stance. You can counter confirm the 6AK, and you can also delay it. Or sorry, not 6AK, Remembrance AK. You can delay it and counter combo it for a launcher, and if you get the launcher, you can follow it up with 3K Slide B for max damage. But keep in mind both hits are minus 16, and the second hit can be sidestepped. Usually I just do single Remembrance A, and if I see the counter hit, I just counter confirm the kick, since it's pretty easy. Remembrance B, this can be just guarded on reaction in high level play, and you can get launched for it. But for people who don't just guard this, it's a safe launcher, and it's the thing you want to do when you get the AGI to activate. And there's also an option select that I made up, where like sometimes you'll get the AGI, but you'll be out of Remembrance Stance for it. Like, I'll see if I can set that up at all. No, Itsu's not cooperating, so I'm not even gonna bother with it. But basically, on the later frames, you can get 3B KK, so the input I like to do when I do Remembrance is Remembrance 3B KK. Because you have plenty of time for the buffer window to recognize that you hit them with Remembrance B and stop to matching 3B KK. So it option selects the launcher for you. I have a laggy monitor at the moment, but so it's not displaying that, but just take my word. If I was on the lagless monitor, I'd get that every time. So yeah. Remembrance K, this is a lag low, don't use it. And it's unsafe. And that goes over all of Xiba moves. So basically the highlights of this character is that he's very good for defense. He has the range, the movement that you want. And he can play sort of lame, but the problems with the character itself is that he can kind of kill himself if you're too crazy with your reads. You just get fucked up hard if you're too wild. But you have to be to get the rewards that you're looking for in this character. His mix-ups are pretty good for lows. He has some of the best lows in this game. And his damage output's very good. And his wall manipulation and stage and his ring out manipulation is very good. So that's another highlight of the character. So like, if your wall's to the right, you get the kick brave edge to wall splat. If they're to the left, you can if the wall's to the left, you can 3B KK and wall splat them. Sometimes you won't get it. You just have to. Sometimes you won't get the 6B because they're too close to the wall and the knockdown's different, or the wall splat's different. So you kind of have to gauge that for yourself. AAK will sometimes wall splat to the left also, so that's also good. And he also has a good ring out and forward wall splat options towards him. So very, very good wall manipulation and stage manipulation. So that's the highlights of the characters. Just the weaknesses are that Oh yeah, he also has very good guard burst. So basically the weaknesses is that he's not the fastest character in the game, and he can kill himself. But the pros is that his defensive options are very, very good, and his rewards are very, very good. It's just he's risky. So that's basically Xiba in a nutshell. I don't think I have any other comments to say, unless the chat has something to add in. So if they don't say anything, I'll end the video right here. Thanks for watching, probably.